I got this painted, took it apart, hit it with a little sandpaper, hit it with some Battleship Gray, and it turned out all right. Looks pretty good. Did that off camera. Not sure if anybody wanted to see that or not, but wasn't really all that exciting, so I don't think you guys missed anything. I am going to start assembling this, get all the components bolted in place, and then once I get all that done, we will go through and see about getting all the wiring done. And as I'm sitting here looking at this, I'm noticing that I may have neglected a couple of holes that needed to be put in, but we'll take that as it comes, you know? So for now, let's see if we can get this installed here. So the first thing I'm doing is I should back up. This battery tester is designed for you to test AA, AAA, and 9-volt batteries. What I have found to be the most common batteries in my home. You guys can make changes as you like, obviously, and you can do AA or AAA or both, or you can leave the 9-volt in or leave the 9-volt out. You can do whatever you want. This is just showing you what's possible for, this whole thing is, cost me less than $20, literally. So what I'm going to add right now is these little posts have a hole through them so that you can, you have to strip the wire, but this is the principle. You stick the wire through, you clamp it down, and then you can, you have a test lead if you need one. If you've got a set of, professional test leads, like with banana plugs on them, they'll plug into the top of these, just plug in, and you can use them. I have these laying around, so I'm going to put them on there, but they are in no way, shape, or form required. This is just, I had it, so thought I'd do it. I'm just trying to line up the holes in here so that they are pretty well straight. There we go. Now I have a lock washer on the back side, and we'll put this nut on here. I think it's like a 10 millimeter. Hey, look at that. Tighten it down a little bit. That's the black one. It's close. There we go. There we go. So now we got the two posts on there. Now let's run some screws in here and get our digital readout going. If I could just switch, what direction does it go? Off is down, as you can see. So kind of orienting it all toward this, the hinges. So we got one more twist in there. We go. Yeah, this has one of those plastic coatings on there to protect it. Drop that in place. And no, that is not straight. That whole thing wants to twist. There we go. Yep, get back there. We got power now. Looking pretty good. So now the display screen. So here we go. Put the screen in. There we go. Now you have to be careful tightening this down. Just barely snug it up. Keep going, little adjustments until it doesn't move. But there we go. Because it is some exposed circuitry on the back, and you don't want to crush anything, especially this little IC right here, which is a big part of the brains of the operation. So don't want to mess that up. So, okay, here's what we're looking like. And now I've got to add the 2 battery holders. But because I got to get those lined up just right, and now the back's all uneven, I am going to go ahead and put the hinges on so it'll hold this in place for us while we... Alright, she's all back together. And other than wires going everywhere and getting in the way, all locked down, ready to go. And all we got to do is add the 2 battery holders right there. Well, maybe one up here and one over here. Still give you room to get the thing open and closed as needed. So let's get the battery holders installed. What we got going is the rest of the pieces and parts came in to finish our battery tester. So what we're going to be doing here is finishing the assembly. Now, what's going to pop up on the screen is a very ugly diagram I drew, the basic wiring diagram. The wiring for this is pretty simple, and let me run through it basically. These 3 wires, black, white, and red, go to the voltmeter. Black and red go to a power source to feed the voltmeter so it comes on. No big deal. The black you reuse and connect to whatever you're testing. In this case, we're going to wire it to a couple of battery holders for the batteries, the different kinds of batteries we're going to test. The white off of the meter becomes the red on these battery holders moving forward. Now on mine, and you have a switch that you run in line with the black wire for the voltmeter. No big deal. Now on mine, I'm actually building it with the ability to check AA's, AAA's, and 9-volt batteries, as well as you can connect a wire to these posts and touch it directly to, say, a C battery like I've got here that doesn't fit any of the battery holders. It's rare you would need to do that, but you know, whatever. Now, when you're building yours, if you just want to test AA's or AAA's or just those, you want to leave the posts out, leave the posts out. Configure yours any way you want, but I'm just sticking these battery holders down with some double stick tape here. And then I will drill a couple of small holes for the wires to poke through, and then I can get everything wired up. A couple of small holes for the wires. Alright, now see if we can get all these wires tucked in here. And yep, 9-volt battery holder here. Now on the 9-volt battery holder, one thing I am going to do on the back side here, isn't that nice? Look at that mess. I got to sort all that out. I am going to, there we go, that should be long enough. I made the hole kind of snug so that the wire wouldn't pull through. I'm also going to tie a very, very loose knot in the wire so that it doesn't pull through and we don't rip anything loose. So once again, this might look a little more confusing than it actually is. Try and go slow so that it makes sense and talk you through it. So first things first, the second 9-volt battery holder, that's how we're going to power this thing. Just a basic 9-volt battery. Now, for the record, normally I would solder these. My soldering iron crapped out. I have not had a chance to get a new one. So I'm using these little 3M Scotch lock crimp connectors. I'll link to them in the description. There we go. The red ones are a little bigger. They're easier to see. They're color coded for how many ports they have. You shove the wire in, you crimp the button down, and it locks the wires together. There's also gel in there to keep the wires from corroding. Makes it like an airtight seal on them. I have used these many times in the past. They work unbelievably well. Always been very happy with them. And there is the power for the meter. Now we are going to use one of these as a triple because now we need power. We need black from the power to one side of the switch. Pre-wrap these. I had to use a different kind of connector. It's another crimp connector because the insulation on the switch wire was too thick. Other side of the switch to the black on the. Okay, these are in the way. That is the wrong power line. That's supposed to be this red, so let's cut that and throw that away. Screwed that right up. Let's try that again. Red. And let me separate these a little bit. And red. Alright, that's crimped. And I just did it again. Now I got them back around to each other, so that's wrong again. Son of a. Okay, so the voltmeter red to the power red, I'm going to hold them together so that I can try to manage not to screw it up for a third time. See how much fun this project's going to be for you? Alright. Red wire 1. Yes, coming from the voltmeter. Red wire 2 coming from the power supply. Crimped. There we go. Finally, something right. Black from the power supply to the switch. Switch to the black on the voltmeter. Okay, so I found a different connector. We're going to see if we can get it to work. I think it might be overkill. I think it's actually too big, but that needs to be restripped. That is just entirely not enough wire. That's better. Alright, that is not going to work either. Third try on the connector here. We are going to pre-wrap it. And then we're going to put a small wire nut on there. There we go. Alright, that's on there. Okay, so now to test and see if we're, anywhere near having this silly thing working right, we can connect the battery. Yeah, we should be able to connect the battery, hit the switch, and see that nothing's happening. So let's turn that back off. I'm wondering if the little red connector actually crimped through the plastic or not. These are actually for solid core wire, not stranded. So I think that may be our problem. So I'm going to restrip these and see if using a different connector with them stripped is the proper way to do this so that they are actually making contact. Remember at the beginning of the video where I said that my soldering iron had taken a dump and I hadn't had a chance to get one yet? Well, let me update that statement. My soldering iron took a crap and I should have waited on completing this project or doing this project at all until I had purchased a new soldering iron. But for some reason, I decided not to wait. There we go. Now we're showing 0.00 volts. So it does work. It comes on, but we haven't told it what it can test yet. So now on this side where I put the wire nut correctly, mind you, I need to connect all of the black wires for all of the testing sites on the top here to make them all jive so it can test them. Now when I do this, I got to take this back off, no big deal. I'm probably going to need a little bit bigger wire nut. So here's what we're going to do to make this work a little better. Alright, so I'm going to take this small wire and I'm going to connect the two battery, AA and the AAA battery cases to it. So there's my extra wire. And there's for the AA, and there's for the AAA, or vice versa, it doesn't matter from this side, they're just neutrals. So now, while I got those in place, I'm going to crimp this bad boy. Alright, so that's all crimped. Those are all in there good. So that has cut down on some of the wires I need to deal with. So now I have the 9-volt, the daisy chained link to them, and the switch and the voltmeter. So that's 4 instead of 3. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take another one of these, trying to cut down how big a wire net I got to have. Yeah, 1 black, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's like a whole ton of them. So let's get the 9-volt and the 2 daisy chain together. Let me get that neatened up a little bit. But now I could use another little jumper wire in black if I got it. And sure. the bundle. There's my jumper. There's my 9-volt connector. There's my bundle of my other battery holders. Those are all hooked together. We are down to just 3, and I can do all those with the next size up wire nut. So let me strip this back just a hair more. Strip this back. I need some wire to work with. Thank you. And a little wire here. And, well, that didn't strip clean. There we go. So now we have 3 wires to pre-twist all together. Now we take a wire nut and we get all 3 of those on there. Alright, that's on there good. So now we have 1. Now the white becomes the red for the testing part, if you remember. So now we have a white, a red, a red, a red. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires. Yes, I forgot to add the black one to the bundle for the testing post. So thank you for reminding me of that. So let's take the wire nut back off. Can't believe you guys let me screw that up. Alright. So now let's try all this together. Everything's in there. Alright. Now all the red ones, which are actually white ones. So what we're going to do is, we do some more consolidation. That seemed to work out nicely and make it a lot easier than making a huge mess. So do I have a piece of red wire to jumper with? I do. There we go. So let's strip this other end here, see if we can't get... There we go. Alright, so let's do a red one, a red one. Let me get that twisted up there. And the white one. Alright, so let's get these 3. Well, that's... White, red, red, crimp. Alright, all those are in there. So we got, now we just have a couple more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jeez. Let's strip some of this. Looks like we're probably going to need, another piece of red off there. This is our donor voltmeter there, spare one. Alright, so let's see if we can't strip this a little bit. There we go. We get these down to where we only had 3 and we can do another wire nut. Sounds like a plan to me. Streamline this just a little bit. 1, 2, give us a 3rd one here. Crimped. Shit. 3rd wire slipped out. Well, son of a... Alright, let's try it again. Alright, we're on our last red crimper. We got to get it right this time. All right, all three are secure. So now we have 3 red wires to connect. And we are done. I had one left, which was, on the floor where I dropped it earlier, right where it belongs. Get that thing in there. All right. Crimp. They're all in there. So technically, that rat's nest is that diagram that you saw earlier. So I just cut a piece of double stick tape for the battery so it wasn't flopping around in here. And the wiring part, I don't think it's really going to matter, but there, battery's stuck in place, not moving. So let's neatly tuck all this in, rat's nest in here. Should probably tidy all that up, but that wouldn't be any fun. So now we are going to close it up with our nifty latch. And we don't need this right now. So I'm just going to tuck it right there. Okay, so power comes on, lights up. So let's see if we can zoom you way in. Nope, I zoomed you too far, damn it. Alright, so now, see it lights up. We're all good. So now, I know this battery to be crappy. I just don't know how crappy. So I'll put it in there. I'm going to fire it up. Reading 1.36 volts. So anything 1.3, I was reading, anything 1.3 or lower you consider bad. So this is on its last leg, but it would be usable. So we'll turn it off, pop our battery out. Now we got a AA. Gonna give that a shot. 1.6 volts, brand new, good to go, ready for action. So we'll take that out. I have a Duracell lithium 3-volt battery, and it is a model CR17345, also known as a 123. Very popular in flashlights and everything. Doesn't fit any of my connectors. So what do? No worries. Take yourself a couple pieces of wire here. Cut them to length. I use 2 different colors just because we can. We will strip both ends. I think we're about to run out of memory card on the camera, so need to hustle it up. Okay, so both ends are stripped. Open up your post. If you can see, there's a little hole in the post. Stick the wire through it. Tighten it down. Then you do the same with the red. Tighten it down. And now you have, let me back you out so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Now you have red and black, I know the wires are the wrong color, to test. So you turn it on, 0.00, and now you can set this down, touch the bottom to it, touch the top to it. I'm just going to hold it, it's 3 volts, I'm not too worried about it. 2.95 volts, brand new, ready to go. And you did it with a battery that wasn't one of the holders. there you have it. We have ourselves a battery tester. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know if you like videos like this. We'll make some more. Should be handy around the house, and might be a good one to have the kids help you with.